From the Dignity Health Studio at the Bakersfield, California, and this is BVarsity Live Preview Show with hosts Zach Ewing and Trevor Horn. And now here's Zach Ewing.
Hi, I'm Zach Ewing. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
There
he is.
I'm Zach Ewing. This is BVarsity Live inside the Dignity Health Studio. I am the host of this show. Trevor just comes along for the ride.
Wait, you're the host?
I am the host.
I thought somebody else was the host today.
You're the co-host.
I thought somebody else was the
We do have very capable hosts in the studio with us.
Yeah, we do.
Let's introduce our guests. First up is your defending Central Section singles champion in girls tennis and eager to defend her crown in the next couple of weeks. That'd be Anastasia Drulias of Garces, just a sophomore.
Yeah.
Could be a four-timer.
Yeah.
Getting ahead of myself.
Hopefully.
But it's on the table. And then one of our favorites here at BVarsity returning to the show, the incomparable Morganne Hill.
Hi.
You like that introduction? I worked hard
I
on
do.
that.
Yeah, it's great.
And we're slowly getting our camera work done because our director, Chris McCullough, is awesome.
We're flying by the seat of our pants today.
You're darn right. For everybody that knows, every week I make a bet within my own head of how short until the show starts that Zach will actually show up.
I might have actually set a record today.
I think you
I was
said
a minute and 6 seconds before the show.
Were
is
you
when I
even here
walked
that
in the
early?
studio. Yeah, I was. I
Okay.
looked at the clock.
right.
Because I was afraid that we were actually going to have Morganne host, which
Yeah.
we had talked about, which you
Been
could have
cheated
done.
of my spot.
Morgan,
Right.
how nervous were you when we were actually telling you that you were going to host today?
You were telling me something entirely different. He's like, okay, put in the earpiece. I was like, wait, do I? You're like, no, you don't. He's like, okay, now you take the earpiece, put it in. I was like, so do I put it in or not? And then you're like, okay, now put the earpiece in. And then here walks in Zach.
So you
record time, apparently.
Yeah, Trevor screwed everything up, in other words.
It was
Yeah.
terrifying.
as usual.
No, I just like that scared look in your face. You're like, what?
So I was like, wait.
I'm gonna do what?
You know, we had a
And
Sonny
she
Rufus
could
in
not.
here.
Tried.
She could not have been any worse than that Chevy guy
At the
giving
World
the
Series
truck
last night?
to
Oh my
Madison
gosh.
Bumgarner last night.
That was
That
amazing.
guy was a complete train wreck. Looks like Rob Ford, and I thought Bud Selig was going to throw up on camera because he was so nervous for this guy. It was so.
That guy was really bad. If you haven't seen that video, look it up. What was I
will.
going to say? Anyway, it's an important time in the prep sports year, and that being said, Anastasia, this weekend is the start of your individual pursuit of a section title. I know the team pursuit ended yesterday, but
Yeah.
how excited are you to sort of get back out and defend this championship with the area meet starting tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm super excited. It's like definitely nerve-wracking because I am going in with the number 1 seed this year.
Right.
And last year I went in with the number 2, so there wasn't as much pressure. But it's definitely exciting. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm just looking forward to playing new people other than everybody who I've been playing recently.
I mean,
Although-
like Ariana Tilbury.
Yeah.
Every time.
But
Yeah.
one thing about it is that happens to be a rematch of last year's section titles. I mean, you
Yeah.
do get stiff competition in town,
Yeah.
and Delaney Roach at Bakersfield Christian, I know, is a friend of yours as well. And I don't think you've played her in high school, but you've played her outside high school, and she'll be a threat as well, right?
Yeah, she will. I haven't played her in a long time, but yeah, she definitely will. I won't play her this weekend in area,
Right.
but there's a chance I could play her in Valley, so yeah, she's definitely a threat.
For those who don't know, the area meet, all you do is play through to the semis. Once you have the 4 semifinalists, you guys get to go to Valley. I say, assuming you're one of the 4, and then wild cards could come out of the quarterfinal losers as well.
Anastasia, can you go over that relationship that you and Ariana have? We talked about it, 2 weeks ago? We're at a Bakersfield Racket Club, just about how the two of you battled for, the Valley title last year, and then with Garces moving into the SWYL this year, you knew that you were going to see her at least twice, if not, what you did, a third time for the league title. You guys are best friends off the
Yeah.
court, right? And then you said it's kind of tough to be able to go against your friends sometimes like that, right?
Yeah, it definitely is. Just like I've said before, I mean, potentially going up against her 4 times this year, it's not something you look forward to. But, yeah, it kind of stinks. But at the end of the day, we're still friends, so.
Yeah. And then Anastasia has one of the more impressive records that I've ever seen in my life and has absolutely nothing to do with tennis. Go ahead and just tell everybody what your GPA is right now.
At the moment, I just got my progress report for the first quarter. It is a 4.97. So,
That's it?
Yeah.
It was a 5.0 2 weeks ago.
I thought it was a 5.0 when I figured it out. It was, but apparently I don't know.
You know what? We round in this studio. It's a 5.0.
Yeah.
If we round it, we're gonna say it's a 5.0.
That right there, being able to stay on top of your tennis game, be a normal teenage girl, and be able to keep an academic record like that's impressive.
This is little Einstein, not normal teenage girl.
Oh, and like you're a normal teenage girl, Morgan.
Totally normal.
Anastasia, you're only a sophomore, but this has to sort of feel like old hat to you. I mean, how long have you waited for the postseason? I mean, is the regular season just this really long like introduction to the?
Yeah, honestly, like playing because we play everybody twice,
Right.
so sometimes if you think about it, it feels short because like. Especially with I'm gonna miss the seniors because the seniors were really great this year. So when we go through each match, it feels like it goes so short and you don't have much time with them. But on the other hand, you really can't wait to be done playing the same schools over and over again and just moving on to I love team play and it's something new for me.
Sure.
Like because I had never been a part of a team before I played high school tennis, but I really do like the individual aspect of it because it's you can only blame yourself. Like if you win, you can applaud yourself, but if you lose, you're the only one to blame.
It's something probably Morgan can speak to too. The individual aspect, especially when you get higher up in competition levels, you're almost competing for yourself.
Yeah.
But the team really adds something to athletics.
Oh
I
yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Even in an individual sport like track, cross country, tennis. What individually though, outside of high school, what's going on with your tennis world? I mean, are you still playing a lot of travel tournaments and everything?
It kind of slows down during the tennis season just because this year we had more out-of-town matches on the weekends and more matches on the weekends. So I didn't get a chance to go out of town as much, but I definitely still practice every day like I would practice for like a tournament in LA or whatever. So hopefully it'll pick back up when this season ends, like around the first of the year, they start having bigger tournaments down south.
Do you get more nervous, more excited for one of these big tournaments down south or for, say, the Valley tournament where maybe the competition level is not as deep, but you're playing for your school?
You know, I think in this tournaments down south, you're kind of go in as an unknown. I'm not like a favorite or anything.
Right.
So it is in that aspect more nerve-wracking to go into like a Valley tournament as the favorite or as a
Target
seed.
on your back, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so when I go into the tournaments down south, usually I'm not seeded that high. Like sometimes in smaller tournaments I'll have a seed or whatever, but I just feel more free to play and just try to do my best and not worry about like I have to win this tournament because like the odds are pretty much against me. So I just try to improve at those. So there's probably more pressure in the Valley.
Okay, so in a lot of ways it is the event of your year because it's the one, if you win it, it's a successful season, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, even if I don't win it, it'll still be a good season. Like luckily we got past the first round in Valley this year as a team, and last year we didn't, so that's definitely an improvement. So like I'm not going to look at it as a failure if I don't win it, but definitely that's my goal.
It's funny, we talk about cross country as an endurance sport, but you guys play so much longer than any cross country race. It's amazing sometimes some of these matches.
What was that match at home against Stockdale? I think it was your 4 singles that went something
Jeez, it was like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it was like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Both teams sitting on the ground. I think you guys were outside.
Inside the fence.
And then Stockdale was outside. And the entire
fence.
teams were just sitting there
Yeah.
watching these two girls go at it for like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
The match started at 4 o'clock, and you guys didn't start doubles till almost 6:45 that
Yeah,
night.
I know. That was a really long day. It was nice because my singles match luckily didn't last that long that day, but yeah, we started super late. They can go on for hours, and that was unique because that was still no ad, and it went 2.5 hours. And so with ad, it probably would have been like 3 hours.
And how much fun was it for you to see in a high school dual match, see the two head coaches like Barb and Dave go out there and judge lines like that? Because you never see that, but they went out there in the tiebreaker and judged lines.
Yeah,
And I thought it was kind of a neat aspect because everybody got into that, right?
Yeah, I liked it. I'm glad the coaches did because sometimes like you can get girls out there who are like obviously biased toward their own team, but I could tell they were both being super fair. So they were just making sure the tiebreaker was like as fair as it could be, and so I appreciated that. And I know Abby did too, even though she lost, but she played a great match, and the other girl did too. So, but it was kind of interesting because high school tennis is intense, and we get into it sometimes, but you don't really like us in Stockdale. You don't really see that kind of like intensity that often. Yeah. So it was kind of cool.
Now, your high school matches are generally quicker because you overpower people, but when you do get into one of these 2-3 hour matches, does your focus wane? I mean, or are you able to keep it? What's the trick to that?
Honestly, I think my focus is better in those matches because, like, in the matches where I don't, like, it's not as big of a threat, I don't have to play great, like, the entire time. So I'm not as focused. And sometimes I'll have, like, bad streaks during those. But I think my focus is better. Like, I don't think in my match for the league final, I don't think I really lost my focus that much. So I think it's easier to keep your focus in the harder matches.
Yeah, you for those who have not seen you play, how would you describe your style of play? Are you aggressive from the beginning? I mean, or would you rather be the backboard and play defensive?
No, I don't like being the backboard because if you end up being the backboard, you're going to run around for hours, and I'd rather play like a match that's close and I'm being offensive and eventually lose, and lose maybe in 2 sets rather than play like defensive the entire time and lose in 3 sets just because you're just getting everything back. Like, it's not going to improve. You're not going to improve if you're just doing that because you have to try to take it early and everything. So that's how I describe my game. I'm more aggressive and I like to go for my shots, but I'm not like stupid with it. I'm not going to just go for flat out winners all the time. I'm smart when I play.
Right.
I want to pose a question to Morgan and then on Anastasia. Just Morgan, you were a high-end athlete as a freshman and as a sophomore, and you've kind of progressed, and now you're a senior. You're going into the tail end of your high school career. What kept you motivated year in and year out to continue getting better? And then obviously, if you had like any advice for like Anastasia, who's a sophomore, for her to keep on going and keep that competitive drive, what is it that keeps you going there?
It's really the feeling of winning. Freshman year, getting to state and not being so serious about it, but I mean, making it to state, everyone was like, that's a big deal to do as a freshman. And then like, not making it to the finals, I was like, you know what, setting a goal for next year, I want to make it into the finals. Sophomore year, I did a lot better, and I was actually in the finals, and I ended up doing really well, but I was like, you know what, I still want to do better. You kind of get a taste, a little bit of a winning taste, and it's like addictive almost, and you're just like, okay, and then you just work harder toward that. So like honestly, as like a sophomore, you've already got that winning drive. I'm sure it's nice like knowing like I've done well, but it's going to keep almost feeding itself to the point where you're just like, I got to go out and do it. So I think you're definitely going to improve. Like, I don't know a lot about tennis, but I know that pretty much to be the best in your sport, especially like in a place like Bakersfield, like I run past the tennis players every day and I'm like, why didn't I do a sport like tennis? Then I realized, oh my goodness, because I'm terrible at tennis. This is why I'm out here running past them, and they're like, go Morgan. I'm like, thanks. But anyways, it's just, I'm sure like it's just so impressive as a sophomore to be doing that. And I mean, I got a lot of that during my sophomore year, so it's like it's your chance to go out and be that golden girl in the tennis sport, and it's really awesome. So keep that drive, and it looks like you have it. So thank you.
It's awesome to have you guys here together. Let's say for the next segment, we'll switch chairs like Jay Leno style. We'll move down to the end of the couch, and we'll talk to Morgan a little bit about what she's up to in cross-country season and with recruiting, which is heating up for you as well. So we will be back here in just a minute on BVarsity Live.